We're going to take a look at getting y by itself. Our goal here is to get this y right there by itself. And we still have to follow the rules of equations. So I need to get rid of two things. I need to get rid of the negative 3x, and I need to get rid of the 2 that's next to the y. But in the rules of equations, we always get rid of addition and subtraction first. And if you're not sure exactly which one it is, it's always the one that's the furthest away from our goal, which was to get y by itself. So we're going to get rid of the negative 3x first, because it's further away than the 2 is. And we always do that by adding and subtracting. And so if this is a negative 3x, then in order to get rid of it, we're going to add 3x to both sides. That will cancel out this 3x. And on the other side, we'll first go ahead and bring down our 2y. On the other side, we cannot combine a 14 with the 3x because they are not like terms. So we're just going to rewrite it. But I personally always like to write it with the x in front. That's also the proper way to write it in math. Technically, you wouldn't be wrong if you put 14 plus 3x, but just not the proper way to write it. Going back to the y, it's almost by itself, but we still got to get rid of that 2. Now that 2 is being multiplied to the y. So in order to get rid of it, we're going to divide. And when we divide, we have to divide to everything. So I'm going to divide everything by 2. That cancels that out and leaves me with y equals 3 over 2 does not reduce, so it's just 3 over 2x, and then plus 7. Notice the number next to x, I left it an improper fraction because that is our slope, and slope must always be left as an improper fraction, never a mixed fraction. Let's take a look at another problem. Okay, we have 5 minus 4y is equal to negative 16x. Our goal is still to get y by itself. And so there's two things I need to get rid of. I need to get rid of the 5 and the negative 4. And so like we said, we always start off getting rid of addition or subtraction. And a lot of kids struggle with this particular type of problem because the 5, they're not sure if that's being added or subtracted, or they see a minus 4 and they think the minus 4 means it's being subtracted. So we go back to what I said a while ago. Which one is the furthest away from the y? Well, the 5 is further away from the y than the 4 is. So it's the one being added or subtracted. Well, it's a positive 5, so it's being added. So we're going to subtract 5. So I subtract 5 from both sides. These 5's cancel out, leaving me with a negative 4y is equal to, I cannot combine those two because they're not like terms. So we're going to put the x up front, negative 16x minus 5. And then we're going to go back over to our y. It's close to almost being by itself. Now this negative 4 is right beside the y, which means it's being multiplied. So in order to get rid of it, we're going to divide. So we're going to divide everything by a negative 4. These cancel out, and we're left with y equals negative 16 divided by negative 4 is a positive 4x. And then negative 5 divided by negative 4 doesn't go in evenly, so we're going to treat it as a fraction. The only way that it will simplify is two negatives make a positive, and then we're going to leave this as 5 over 4. Once again, we usually just leave this as an improper fraction. However, because it's not slope, this one could be a mixed fraction, but typically we leave it improper. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Okay, this one, the y is actually on the other side. I know we typically, when we get y by itself, we want it by itself on the left side, but in this case it's going to be easier just to get it by itself on the right hand side and then flip everything. And so the only thing I have next to my y is that 2. And because it's right beside the y, it's being multiplied. So I'm going to divide by 2 in order to get rid of it. So divide by 2. So divide by 2 to everything. That cancels that out. And I'm left with 3 over 2x, that does not simplify, and then negative 4 divided by 2 would give me a negative 2 is equal to y. And then what we can do is we can just simply flip this around to get it the way we like it. Y is equal to 3 over 2x minus 2. And that's how you get y by itself.